include Office of the Deputy President, Office of the Prime Cabinet Secretary, State House, State Department for Correctional Services, State Department for Foreign Affairs, State Department for Basic Education, the National Treasury, State Department for Medical Services, State Department for Shipping and Maritime Affairs, as well as Ethics and Anti-Corruption Commission, among others. But Control of Budgets laments that in the first 9 months of the financial year 2023-2024, travelling expenditure amounted to 18.18 billion shillings in total for all MDAs compared to 14.07 billion shillings recorded in a similar period for financial year 2022-2023. This comprised domestic travel at 12.33 billion shillings and 5.85 billion shillings for foreign travel. Expenditure on insurance was 13.89 billion Kenya shillings, and specialized materials and supplies were listed as 7.94 billion Kenya shillings. Rent and rates on non-residential buildings were at 6.61 billion shillings, while hospitality stood at 4.68 billion Kenya shillings. Nevertheless, Nyakango notes that the growth in travel expenses shows that MDS budgeted for traveling under the use of goods and services. The Control of Budget recommends compliance with government guidelines relating to non-core expenses, including domestic and foreign travel. The directives include limiting the delegation headed by cabinet secretaries to 4 persons and limiting the cumulative days away to a maximum of 7 days per travel, 15 days per quarter and 45 days per year. Travel clearance application should also be submitted at least 7 working days before the travel date. The report places the Office of the President with a spending of 21.3 million shillings, 121.04 million shillings for the DP's office. Prime Cabinet Secretary gobbled 61.11 million, with State House, on the other hand, used 147.66 million shillings on foreign travels between July 1st, 2022 and March 31st, 2023. Between 31st July and March 31st, 2024, the 4 MDAs, which refused to submit their travel data, totaled to 98.8 million shillings spent by the executive on foreign travels alone. The revelations by the Control of Budget, Margaret Nyakango, are coming amidst austerity measures that the government had proposed to inject to government, including foreign travels. President Ruto, amidst uproar on the Astral jet, has defended his US trip and other trips abroad as one bringing aboard fortunes for the country.
I was pleasantly surprised that each and every parastatal was willing to contribute to making sure that we live within our means. And each one of them went back and they have submitted their reports, and they have actually reduced their recurrent budgets by 30%.
Nyakango in her report reveals that the outstanding national government pending bills as of 31st March 2024 amounted to 486.8 billion shillings compared to 529.53 billion shillings reported as of 31st March 2023. This comprised of 405.28 billion shillings, 83% for state corporations compared to 450.24 billion shillings, and 81.51 billion shillings for MDAs compared to 79.29 billion recorded in a similar period for financial year 2022-2023 respectively. Martin Opio, K24 TV, Nairobi.
The Independent Policing Oversight Authority, IPOA, has condemned the latest incident in which a motorist assaulted a police officer in Kasarani yesterday, describing it as a disregard for the rule of law. This statement follows the arrest of the suspect, Ian Njoroge, who was captured on camera attacking a traffic police officer during a traffic stop in Mirema. Our reporter, Mile Kisenya, has more.
A video of Ian Njoroge attacking a police officer along Mirema Drive has sparked wide reactions. The incident began with a traffic stop by Corporal Jacob Ongendo, which led to Njoroge's unexpected assault. He was arrested hours later. and subjected to a brief but harsh interrogation by individuals presumed to be police officers.
Ulitrain wapi? Ha? Sijatrain. Unarejea wapi kupiga askari? Sijapiga askari tena. Haujapiga askari? Ulifanya nini? Tena. Ulifanya nini leo?
The incident has drawn various reactions online, with the latest statement coming from the Independent Policing Oversight Authority. In a statement to the newsrooms, IPOA chairperson Anne McCurry has condemned the attack as a total disregard of the law. She has, however, called on Kenyans to use the right mechanism when they feel disgruntled about policing services. Following Ian Njoroge's arrest, he is likely to face several charges including physical assault and attempted murder. If found guilty of assaulting a uniformed police officer, he could face up to 10 years in prison, a fine of 1 million Kenya shillings, or both, according to the Police Act. Milia Kisienya, K24 TV.
A lorry ferrying a tank of liquefied petroleum gas burst into flames earlier today around Feather Estate in Nairobi County near a bus terminal. Video clips from the incident showed a huge smoke engulfing the area at around noon and is suspected to have left 2 people injured. Robbie Omondi with that report.
This was the scene following an explosion of a lorry ferrying a tank of liquefied petroleum gas around Feather Estate in Nairobi County.
Sasa vile tulikuwa tumefuatana na lori imegonga reli. Vile imegonga reli ikaanza kutoa gasi. Sasa wakati nimeona niende hivi huku kulikuwa na watu. Sasa ndio nikaepesha hapa ikanifikia mimi nikatoka mbio kwa dirisha nikaepa mbio. Niliona gas imetoka mingi ikinifuata huku.
Nilitembea kitu kama 30 meters ndio ikalipuka. Ile ya mlipuko ya kwanza ikarudi ikalipuka tena mara ya pili na mara ya tatu ikalipuka sasa ikaanza kutoka ikienda juu.
The midday incident prompted emergency service providers to rush to the scene, evacuating residents for their safety.
Dereva wa hii alikuja akauliza atafanya nini, nikamwambia usijaribu kupiga starter na ule wa Nissan atoe kama wamesukuma lakini asiignite. But makosa huyu yeye hakupiga starter yake lakini ule wa Nissan alipiga starter. Wakati wameisukuma wamefika pale mahali sasa ipo ndio wakaiwakisha ikarusha moto hapa na moto ikarudi tena kwa Nissan. Sasa hivyo ndio kulishika moto ikawa sasa inalipuka.
Nairobi Police Boss Adamson Bungei reported that traffic flow on the road was blocked, urging motorists to seek alternative routes.
Juu kitu ya kwanza wamekuja kama hiyo gasi yenyewe imeisha. Wamekuja kuzima tu ile moto ya nini. Ingekuwa sasa ni ile kitu serious, watu kama ni kukufa wangekufa wengi. So Nairobi, serikali ya county ya Nairobi wajaribu tu tafadhali kukua na haraka kidogo juu imeteke karibu 1 hour ndio wafike.
The fire incident comes months after another gas explosion happened in Embakasi area, leaving several people dead and scores injured.
Wale wakizima wamechukua muda. Ilikuwa ileta shida mpaka kwa hao wakaaji. Lakini kwa sasa tunashukuru casualties ni mmoja na amepelekwa hospitali. Kwa sasa hivi tunaona kumetulia, moto imezimwa.
The cause of today's incident is still unknown and is suspected to have left 2 people injured.
Sasa kwa hiyo harakati ya moto imewaka, huyo mmoja ametolewa na ambulance, amebebwa ameenda.
Robbie Omondi, K24.
The National Police, together with the county government of Machakos, have launched investigations into the alleged suicide of one of the residents who worked as a bus tout at the Machakos County Bus Park. The deceased is believed to have committed suicide after numerous run-ins with the policing authorities. Business at the Machakos Bus Park was today morning brought to a standstill after one of the touts was arrested by the Machakos City Inspectorate, committed suicide in his cell. Alan Musembi, one of the furious and agitated witnesses demanding for explanations, questioned the conduct of the officers, raising concerns on how the arrest was conducted.
Tunashangaa ni namna gani askari wetu wa Kanjo wanachukua mtu wanamweka seli bila kumfanya peksheni bila kumwangalia ana nini wala nini. Hivi leo ukiangalia kijana amejinyonga na mshipi wake, ambapo ni sheria mtu akitiwa korokoroni hafai kuingia na vitu ambavyo anaweza kutumia kumaliza ama kujitoa uhai.
Machakos County Secretary Muyenda Mbunki, flanked by the Chief of Staff Lawrence Ngovi, assured the residents that speedy investigations into the matter had been launched, reiterating that civil servants should be guided by a code of conduct at all times whenever they are conducting their duties.
As a government, we do not condone, and we cannot condone any acts if there was, if that is established, carelessness or recklessness on the part of our people. But let us leave it to the police force so that they investigate and finally give us their findings.
Residents to this end believe that the county's City Inspectorate should be taken through refresher courses and training on their conduct, as they say they've become notorious at harassing residents and business people.
Gavana yetu ni gavana tunampenda na tunajua kazi ile anatenda. Tunataka achunguze kabisa hao askari walikuwa wamemshika. Kwa nini alikuwa kwanza ameshikwa? Na alikuwa amebukiwa wapi? Na mtu akiwekwa seli awekangwi na vitu kama mshipi, kama kamba, kama vitu kama hizo. Kwa nini amewekwa na vitu kama hizo akiwekwa kwa seli? Ndio tunauliza kwa unyenyekevu tupatiwe hiyo mambo kabisa, ili wananchi wa Machakos waridhike na tujue kazi inaendelea mzuri.
Clinical officers from Machakos, Kitui and Makueni counties staged a peaceful protest in Makueni today, marching from Wote Green Park to the governor's office. The medics, led by Kenya Union of Clinical Officers National Chair Peterson Washira, insisted they would not relent until their demands are met. Mumbi Wambugu reports.
Clinical officers across the country continue voicing their grievances, with today's protests drawing participants from the counties of Machakos, Kitui and Makueni. They marched from Wote Green Park to Governor Mutula Kilonzo Jr.'s office, where they presented their memorandum.
We are here as a result of failure of government to honor the law that they usually ask us to honor, because there was an order of the court that directed that the Council of Governors and the Ministry of Health should sit with us and we should be able to conclude our collective bargaining agreement. So for the first time, we actually went on strike to force the government to obey an order of the court.
Their demands include a 15,000 shillings risk allowance and the conversion of contractual employees to permanent positions, among other issues. Mutula acknowledged that most of the issues raised by the medics can be resolved, but noted that the wage bill issue has hampered the implementation of some demands.
It is unfortunate in a country for doctors or clinical officers like yourselves to be on the streets. It's very unfortunate. Not politicians, not other cadres, doctors and clinical officers. In fact, one of the things that you are asking, why is this a problem? The 15,000. That's a drop in the ocean, considering the amount of money we are spending on tours in the world.
Kenya Union of Clinical Officers Chairperson Peterson Washira maintained that demonstrations will continue until all issues are resolved, urging clinical officers not to relent.
We are here to stand against discrimination, because discrimination is indignified, and that is why we are saying we are here to fight for professional dignity. And we have said we are not signing any return to work agreement without the enhancement of the health risk allowance.
Mumbi Wambogo, K24 TV.